Stephen A. Now we have role reversal on the show from the first topic of the show, in which we discussed your Super Bowl pick, and you hung in with your Super Bowl pick, even though part of you, maybe even your better judgment, told you not to. My better judgment is screaming at me right now to give up the ghost of the Patriots, and I'm not going to. I am going to have the courage of my convictions, though my convictions are down to close to zero about my New England Patriots, my Super Bowl pick. When I heard the Gronk news yesterday, I was dumbfounded and devastated at the same time, because it had come to this. After all they have been through, all the litany of injuries, 39 different offensive line combinations prompted by 49 different injuries to offensive linemen. Edelman gone, Amendola gone for a while. Belichick had a black eye this week. I have a mysterious black eye. I don't know. Everybody's hurt, right? And then on top of all that comes Chandler Jones. We think reportedly synthetic marijuana. Big distraction. He apologized in the locker room. And now this. The one difference maker on the, other than Psycho Tom, obviously, 87, Rob Gronkowski. What? He's going to a hospital for some injection in his knee? I don't know what it was. They're not going to tell, obviously. Was it a cortisone shot or a PRP shot? I have no idea what it was, but it's not good, not now. And when they did release their injury report yesterday, his back is also listed as an issue. So he hasn't practiced. I'm going to have to assume that he hurt his knee in the off-week practice last week, because I don't know anything more about it. I will remind you, Tom Brady still has some ankle issue off the Ndamukong Suh crush job. Remember, he fell into the back of his legs and twisted his ankle. And nobody's talking about that because he's not talking about it. So everything screams Chiefs. We had Antonio Cromartie on the other day talking about how Bob Sutton's Kansas City defense is made to frustrate and limit to stifle Tom Brady. It's the scheme is perfect, and they can rush the passer. Justin Houston's still not quite right, but they can come after Tom Brady through that sieve of an offensive line. They've got the new corner, the kid corner Marcus Peters, having a terrific breakout year. So all of a sudden, I say they've won 11 straight games, allowing 11.6 points per game. They're plus 20 in turnovers in that stretch. That they have high confidence off early last year's, as you point out, 41-14. Man, they are coming in flying high. So how can I pick my Patriots? There's only one way. My defense is going to have to be Brady in this game. It's as simple as that. The defense is going to have to be Psycho Tom. It's going to have to play at a much higher level than we saw at Miami final regular season game that they blew, when they turned a mediocre quarterback into Ryan Montana Hill instead of Tannehill, Ryan Montana Hill, and made him look like he was all world. Well, they did. And so that defense is going to have to do a number on Alex Smith. My only hope here, as you well know, Stephen A., Jeremy Maclin has a high ankle sprain. Will he play, won't he? I don't know, but I'm going to guess or hope that he will be limited at best. So all of a sudden, their receiving core looks much more average. And if the defense can shut them down, hold them down, and if Brady can figure out some way, maybe without Gronkowski, and I didn't mention Edelman, he's going to try to play on his Jones fracture. I don't have a lot of hope in that after what Des Bryant went through this year. So maybe Brady could put up 17. Maybe the defense could score 7 somehow. I'm going to go my Patriots 17-10. Your thoughts?
First of all, there's a couple of things I want to touch on before I get to my pick. Number one, Chandler Jones. Skip, allow me to give this guy a lesson in PR. Chandler Jones, all you had to do was sit there and say, hey, I understand your question. I appreciate it. I'm not touching that. You'll learn more. I'm sure the NFL will let you know more. I'm moving on to Saturday's game. I apologize, but I'm not talking about it, and that's it, as opposed to sit there and telling us, you understand our question. You know what I'm saying? These guys just need help sometimes. I'm trying to figure out who are the PR people working with these guys sometimes. It just doesn't make any sense.
Stephen A., real quick. I thought he was trying to do what you're saying. He didn't elocute it very well. It didn't
Right,
come
that's what I'm
out right,
saying.
but I think he was trying to get where you wanted him to go.
Yeah, exactly. So do I. But that's what I'm saying. He did try. The attempt, he had the right intent. It's just that, you know, if you just schooled him prior to it, you just sit there and say, look, I'm not touching on it. I apologize. You can speculate as to why I apologize.
Okay.
But trust me, my apology is sincere. I'm not answering any questions about it. Talk to me about Saturday's game. Boom! End of discussion.
Got it.
But somehow, some way, the PR department have a tough time helping these brothers out. I just don't understand it. Now, back to the game. Skip Bayless, one of the things I think you have to pay attention to is that Kansas City, although it was against Houston and although they blew them out, if you take away the 8 receptions for 128 yards by Kelsey himself, right? Then what you have is a situation where they only had 9 receptions, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? 9 receptions for like 72 yards. So it's not the offense that New England really has to worry about, particularly with Macklin out. You key on Kelsey. It's not to say that you ignore them. West and the other fellas can do some things, but there's no juggernaut here in Kansas City offensively. Alex Smith is not going to turn the ball over. As a result, you're not going to get Kansas City to beat themselves. And they will make you play ugly. But they make you play ugly by playing defense, because not only is their defense is elite, it's also opportunistic. I think they were like 3rd in the league in forced turnovers. These boys are no joke. They get at the quarterback. Their secondary with Peters and the rest of the crew, these brothers can play. You know, and Eric Berry was one of your safeties. And Sean Smith, he had an interception last week. These guys can play. They can get after the quarterback. They can defend the pass, okay? And obviously, they're not too shabby against the rush. They don't have any glaring, flagrant weaknesses, okay? And Andy Reid's teams are usually productive on the road as well. So let's keep that in mind. Where you're New England, and I think you have a good advantage, your offensive line is still suspect, but most of your skilled position players are expected to return. As a result, I think if you're Kansas City, you have to be mindful and fearful of that element. I think it'll be a tight game, but I don't care about Tom Brady's ankle injuries from a couple of weeks ago or back issues or whatever. He's got 2 weeks to get ready for this. He's Tom Brady. I firmly believe he will be ready. Gronk will be ready. Edelman, is he going to be ready? Is Amendola going to be ready? If those two are out there on the field and can give you anything, I think it's going to be tough for Kansas City to put up points. They'll be able to neutralize New England to some degree, where New England won't explode on them. But I also believe in my heart of hearts that it's one of those situations where ultimately New England will be able to score enough to win this game. I think New England wins 24-20.
24-20. Oh, by the way, you dismissed all those huge ifs as if they don't really apply, like Gronk's going to play, Edelman's going to play. I don't know that. Maybe you do. Maybe you have some inside info I don't have. I'm not sure.
Well, I have been told that, you know, they're pretty confident they may play. I don't know it for a fact, but I have been told that. What I would tell you is that them having the week off and being able to rest the last 2 weeks, I think they're doing everything they can to get on the field as healthy as they possibly can be on Sunday, trusting that their chemistry will be recaptured because they're so accustomed to playing with one another. That's what I think is going on here. It'll be a rough patch, don't get me wrong, but I don't think Kansas City is going to be able to do but so much against this defense. As a result, I think New England will have its opportunities to make its share of mistakes and still be in the game, and then Tom Brady will find a way to pull it out for you.
I got it. I forgot you and Belichick go way back, right?
No,
I
I would
not say You covered him in his Cleveland days?
I would not say that. I respect the man a hell of a lot more than you do. I love me some Mr. Kraft. I revere that man. But
we know that.
They are not the ones. They are not the ones that told me anything about the players.
Okay, I got it.
All right. The Patriots are trying to join the Raiders as the only franchises to make trips to 5 straight conference championships. Let's go to another team that knows something about consistency. LeBron James paying his respects to the great Tim Duncan last night. You can see the full post on IG. It was pretty special. The consistency you've shown over the years goes unmatched, and as a competitor, it's always a treat to be competing on the same floor as you, LeBron on Tim Duncan. Cavs Spurs, we react.